Жесть. Как-то у них неправильно, короче, все это. Тираж 136, номер 136. День Инжус. Стрэч. Получил канал виноградная более ценного игрока.
Все, в принципе, началась.
Да?
Да.
Так, смотрю еще один. Так, подписан. Рустем Филиппов, который получил это награду больше ценного игрока. Гамингейминг. Здравствуйте.
Сейчас надо проверить, только нас слышно или нет.
10 секунд осталось.
Как долго разминка, пипец?
Да, они пока все соберутся. Прокачу.
О, Глок 18 у чувака. Давай, кейсик, мне выпади. Что там, предложение принято? Фига, как разбил лицо.
Что-то Нави разматывают в лед сегодня. Размотали вообще. Это уже не разминка. Размотали их вообще. Нехило их размотали, нехило.
Так, нас слышат, блин. Как выключить, чтобы нас не слышали? Почему не делается, блин?
Thank you very much, and yes, indeed, we are live here. It's going to be Cloud9 and Navi heading into a best of one game on train. Summer, I think we've officially reached what must be a really good game here. There's no way this is going to be a bad game.
This is the group that everybody's been waiting for, and it's the closest group across the board. Navi and Cloud9. Don't think that Navi are going to be able to stomp Cloud9 out of this. Definitely think that Cloud9 are going to be able to put up a fight. And then after this, it's the big match. It's G2 versus Virtus.Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's waiting to see the outcome of that one and who's going to be able to come out on top.
I mean, I've got my guess as to who it might be, but I won't say just yet. We are going to go into it here, and it will be Navi starting on the terrorist side here. Definitely a good map for them. Stewie already falling back, and look at the train that's coming into the B-bomb site here. Grenade rains out, does a little bit of damage. Nice shot from Stewie, bringing down Guardian, and that has to be a great kill for them coming through. But Stewie, he's being zoned out. He needs backup badly, and finally it arrives. Shroud coming up with a headshot on Zeus, and they need more than that, a second one as well. Shroud being put into play. Freakazoid getting a kill and seized up here, but it's too early. That Molotov, yeah, it's going to deny the defuse for a second. Actually, they haven't smoked to Canada, but it doesn't even matter. Seized, comes charging. This one on three, can't hit the shot, and Shroud going to end up with a triple kill. All headshots, and Cloud9 with a great retake.
There are so many things that went right for Cloud9 in that play, and it was actually Stewie, I think, who was the linchpin. If he had gotten overrun by Guardian pushing up aggressively like that, then Navi would have had a way off of that site. Yeah. They could have taken the fight to Cloud9. Instead, he shuts down Guardian immediately, and that buys just enough time for the rotation to come through Link and to start, getting into the fight. And they bottle Navi onto that bomb site successfully. They don't allow Navi to take the fight to him. They keep him locked in, and then they just pick him apart. That was sick. That's exactly how it's supposed to go in a retake like that for Cloud9.
And I mean, that Molotov on the high ground is such a popular strategy, but not only did they have the smoke, it also had to be put out instantly, that Molotov, and that doesn't work. The bomb timer is so long that they could have just waited it out anyway. But not that they really had much choice at the end. It's just a bit unfortunate. So you could see the idea there for Navi, just it wasn't really executed to perfection. It's going to give the North American team a nice start. You know what, Semler, we've already had two good North American teams winning and upsetting the situation today. Could we really have a third one? one? Is there even room for that?
Oh, dude, there's always room for that. I mean, come on. Such a hype major. We got to have some hype upsets as well just to go with it, right? North America has to turn up here on home turf. That's always, you know, it's an old argument that we've had in the past. You know, it's like that home turf advantage, you know, does it actually play a factor? Well, now we get to see, you know, can the North American team show up now that they actually have a stadium that has been sold out, full of fans waiting to see them perform?
The thing is, in the past when we've had, you know, North American lands, it's still been
They've been bashing on North America for so long that they might underestimate them, and that might cost them. But it looks like Na'Vi, they're gearing up to go for another inner site play here. Straight out onto the B site, and Stewie, he's only going to get the first kill, but Skadoodle's there to back him up with the MP7. And there's the line that's being held. Shroud is there to get the kill on a Flamey, and Edward just not going to get anywhere near this bomb site. Not going to be able to get the plant, and that's really what Na'Vi were hoping for here.
Yeah, I mean, again, even if Stu just got the one kill, he stayed alive long enough at least. Took a while to bring him down. It wasn't the instant dink into the bomb site that allows them to sort of overrun anything. And at the end of it, Skadoodle with a double kill, and Cloud9 looking decent. And no bomb plant for Na'Vi either. They did have that in the first round, but they won't be able to buy him. They just invested a little bit too much.
And that force is going to have an impact on Guardian and when he's going to be able to get that AWP. Sometimes you see Guardian take a step back when his team decides to go for the force buy, and he'll just go for just like the Deagle, no Kevlar.
Yeah.
You know, or even I've seen him go for the P250 in the past when he's been feeling particularly, you know, well, thinking ahead basically to the big round where he wants to get that AWP. He's been playing safe, right? This is not the case this time around. He just decides to go with the rest of the team, and so now, well, he may not have that AWP in the first buy round. So, you know, a lot of talk going into this about Skadoodle and Guardian. There was a time, basically, you know, quite some time ago actually, where we were having that discussion, you know, Skadoodle, Guardian, who was actually the top offer in the world. It was very close, but Guardian came out ahead that time, and it's been Guardian holding the crown ever since.
Well, I think what really happens is there is a difference between saying like who's the best AWPer and who's the best player, and I think that the reason why Guardian always wins when you do the best player comparisons is that he can have an AK and still wreck, whereas it seems like Skadoodle has a sort of a sharper drop-off point if you give him a rifle. But I think between Skadoodle and Guardian, it's gonna be hard to call like a battle between those two in an AWP. I mean,
not only that, Anders, actually, you make a good point. But like, it's the fact that Guardian is such a versatile player, and Skadoodle tends to, you know, stay more of a fixed player where he's, you know, it's a little bit more predictable what he wants to do. He wants to sit and hold a spot and basically be that turret, right? You give him an op, he sits there, he holds that angle, and he just demolishes people as they come into it. Whereas Guardian, you never really know what you're going to get with Guardian. He's just so aggressive everywhere across the map. It's that element of surprise that he's always got going with him that makes him so dangerous.
I'd love to see a battle. I mean, nowadays it doesn't seem like that many CS:GO matches are decided just by the AWP battle. You know, there was definitely a point in time where if the other team had a better AWPer, then there'd be no way around that. But it seems like that has changed a little bit. Skadoodle already picking up the AWP. You did already point out that that's not going to be an option for Guardian in this round, and he does go with the AK instead. That does allow for faster and more dynamic play on the Na'Vi side, and we'll see if they're going to try and do that here in the fourth round. First actual rifle round for Na'Vi. And yeah, they're playing on the less favorite side, so we'll see how they're going to be able to do early on here.
A little bit of a mistiming there. You guys saw Edward not getting it right, getting flashed, so that stops him from trying to push through that smoke, trying to be aggressive. But when that smoke goes down, you have to start worrying a little bit about the CT side getting aggressive up in brown halls, trying to lurk around the edges, trying to pick somebody off on the T side, you know, catch them sleeping. So they are going to play a little bit more delayed, Na'Vi up in those brown halls, trying to buddy system it up basically and wait to see if anybody's going to get aggressive on the CT side. So, good peek there. Yeah, you see, they just go in together. So if one of them dies, the other one's going to trade frag. And now this is classic Na'Vi, where they just start, you know, systematically picking the map apart and getting control of each part of the map before they actually execute into their strategy.
Well, what is cool is that the one person playing aggressively on the CT side is Freakazoid with the SMG that he saved, and I mean that makes sense. If you're going to save the SMG, might as well try and take a risk and see if he can't you know, get something more out of it. Right now, he's not sort of falling for any tricks here. He's just waiting. All the way up. Look at how much map control that's denying Na'Vi. They're going to have a hard time, even if they wanted to execute B and just ignore the A main entrance here. They'd have to worry about Freakazoid sneaking up behind them, so they have to all the time think about this loss of map control. But Seized is actually quite far up Ivy, and they should be a bit scared of that.
Yeah, actually, that is going to be a little bit of an issue. Shroud is falling back, and so they're trying to consolidate the defense on the A site. So Seized might come through there. He might expect him to be playing back line, but instead Shroud, he's holding on the train. So if Seized tries to get aggressive here, Shroud, he's going to be primed and ready to take him out. And it doesn't look like Na'Vi. They're looking to get that three-pronged approach onto the A site, but they're just getting completely bodied. They ran right into a wall. A single kill on Freakazoid, but the rest of Cloud9, they hit all of their shots.
Wow, I mean, that is the best case scenario really for Cloud9 in that situation. I'm a bit concerned about that particular setup, because if you have one guy watching main, one guy watching Pop Dog, and one guy watching Ivy like that, only 3 people in the A-bomb site and the other 2 at B, what happens is if any one of them goes down, someone else has to take up that angle, and suddenly, I'd say, you double the chances of that guy getting killed. If he dies, the last guy has to, take care of all 3. That's why you almost always have 4 people at the A-bomb site, at least enough that you could rotate in like that. But it worked out beautifully for Cloud9, so can't really complain too much. This looks like a round where Na'Vi are going to just go on the A-bomb site with Tech9s, smokes down, try and get the bomb down, see if they can't play for the afterplant. And it's going to be just the classic default execute that we know pretty well by now.
Yeah, it's the straight quasi-buy coming out here from Na'Vi. They're looking to just get halvesies in, and they've got the smokes for the execute. The thing is that Cloud9, they have 4 incendiaries. So if they see those nades start to come in, if they have any time to react at all, it's going to be incendiaries all over the place, trying to delay Na'Vi as much as possible, trying to make sure that Na'Vi have as little time as possible to work with these smokes. So already we can see the nades coming out here from Cloud9. Freakazoid holding up close, just waiting, and this is perfect for him. He's within that smoke range, so he's going to be the first line of defense here. He's playing first contact for Cloud9.
And even if they wanted to run back, that wouldn't work too well either. There are 2 good kills coming into Cloud9, picking up a side. That's Freakazoid with the double kill. Flamey and Seized. They're not even going to be able to make it onto the site here. Just a beautiful defense being put up here. Nobody even goes down on the Cloud9 side. That's actually a bit of a slap in the face for Na'Vi here. That kind of round, normally on the T side, you expect you could at least get the bomb down. Even if you don't win, you know you got that in the bank. Finally, we see Guardian picking up the AWP, and he's going to have a big impact, I think, on this game right now.
Yeah, that's what we've all been waiting for. It's that Guardian op, and now Na'Vi, I mean, they're known for it. They're known for building a lot of their strategies around Guardian. He's so good at entry frags just because Na'Vi, they literally just sit around and wait for him. They play the clock and wait for him to find somebody, taking that one extra step that's going to put them into his crosshairs and allow him to start things off strong for Na'Vi. And this time, again, this is where it gets really difficult to read Guardian. He's going to start off at Ivy, but he could start rotating back to A main. He could start, he could just be anywhere with this op right now. So Cloud9, they need to figure that out. But they've already started off strong. Skadoodle, he manages to find Zeus to begin with here.
Same setup as well for Cloud9 here. They're really sticking to it, and we'll see if it's going to pay off. Shroud covering here with the AK. It's going to be Guardian. He's creeping in, and the timing is almost uncanny right now. Guardian standing in the fire, just hoping that Shroud's going to come and peek him. And when he finally does, he's going to miss the shot, and Shroud definitely won't. Good headshot coming in, and it's just a full team effort right now. Cloud9 taking care of business. He's going to get a bit at the end here. But it would have to be an ace clutch for him to win this. He's got a minute for it, so if Cloud9 start making a lot of mistakes, there's always a chance, but they shouldn't be doing that. They're under no pressure right now to do that, so might as well chill.
And they're so nade-rich that they're just going to chuck out smokes. They're going to do whatever they want at this point. They should be feeling in complete control of the situation, Cloud9. All 3 of them on the site, and even, well, 2 of them on the site, but they have Freakazoid watching the back line in case Guardian tries to rotate around to A main or try to rotate into Brown Hall towards that B site. There's just nowhere for Guardian to go. Skadoodle holds the angle, and those are the kinds of situations that Skadoodle excels at. He very rarely misses those shots where he's already, just lined up and ready and waiting. You very rarely catch him sleeping. So once again, Scott delivers, and he's actually doing some big work right now. 8-3-1 for him so far, and we're just getting into the 7th round.
And exciting for me because there was some interview I was doing before this whole event, and someone asked, who's the player to sort of watch out for. I think Shroud is one of them because we know, everybody has been watching Shroud stream and all of that stuff, right? The front page of the subreddit is constantly full with stuff from Shroud playing FPL or something like that. But then we go to a tournament like this, and it's not the same, and that's super frustrating, right? It must be personally frustrating for him, and it's long overdue for Shroud to sort of actually go and do that at a LAN tournament like this.
Well, that's always like the biggest criticism, right? You hit the nail on the head, is the fact that, Shroud, he comes up with these crazy 4K clips, and the first comment, every time you go in there, that first comment's going to be like, oh, but why doesn't he do this on LAN?
Yeah.
And that's always been the thing. He goes crazy in these FPL games, but then, on LAN, he never seems to actually, step up and deliver that kind of level, have that kind of impact. I mean, right now, we actually have, quite a few of them doing really well. Freakazoid as well. I mean, he's been holding that close A main position, and that's a really tricky spot. It's very easy for you to be caught looking the wrong way at the wrong time, but he's been delivering so far, 6-1-1.
And it's you know, it's funny that the guys were bringing up Yurkandia, because obviously he was playing with Shroud in that Manajuma team with, you know, with Desi and all the rest of them. And that was sort of when Shroud had his real breakthrough as sort of obviously the ultimate star player of that team.
Yeah, that's when he got picked up by well, you know, got given his chance by Cloud9, and then he's been with them ever since through the rough times. And
honestly, I can't blame Cloud9 for keeping on to him. I think it'd be mad to sort of to throw him away, but you always have to be concerned if someone can't translate like their full potential into a tournament of this size, and Shroud has definitely had issues with that. But at the same time, we were talking about this earlier, you go to a big tournament like this, the first time you do it, you're going to make all sorts of mistakes, right? And the second time, you're going to make slightly fewer, and it's sort of, you know, you keep going like that. Eventually, you should be able to sort of grind out all of it. Now, a few gifted players sort of show up, and within, you know, 2 or 3 tournaments, they've got it figured out, and they know how to play, right? Some people just take a little bit longer, and maybe Shroud is one of these players.
Yeah.
He certainly wouldn't be the first.
I mean, there's also, I mean, there's another layer to it, which is just like the enormous amount of pressure put on him. You know, Cloud9 for the longest time, they were the front-running North American team, and all eyes were on him. So it's just like Nip, the same sort of, you know, mental battle that they have to go through when all eyes are on you. They're expecting great things, and every time you let them down, it just gets worse, because the next time you're going to be thinking, okay, you know, you make a mistake, oh no, everybody saw that, everybody, you know, and it's just this, you need this mental fortitude, and Shroud, yeah, he might be developing it by now. But look at this. Skadoodle's going to draw the attention, and Stewie2K, that 1-2 combination, nice B hold set up there for Cloud9 on the B site. Skadoodle and Stewie2K really working well there.
Shroud adjusting his position ever so slightly, you know, still the exact same angle, just this time on top of the train instead of down on the rails, and that's enough to throw Na'Vi off guard, because they've figured out by now that that's where he's holding. They must also figured out that there's not going to be a crossfire down at Ivy, which means they can use less grenades and they can sort of walk out, which is what they just tried to do. It just didn't work. So basic sort of defense coming up in terms of alternating your positions, but it's super important to remember to do it anyway. Edward and Guardian still left, and it's a 2-on-3. So again, waiting around like this and hoping for Cloud9 to give you the opening is not a bad choice for Na'Vi. Yeah,
they have so much time. They still have 50 seconds on this clock. And that's exactly what they're hoping for at this point. Edward looking for the lurk. Stewie2K has been boosted up. Guardian will catch out nothing, and that was in the middle of nowhere. But Ska, he's boosted, and Stewie2K is there to watch him. Misses the shot, though, Ska. Now, with Edward so close, he's going to get the spray, and a double spray for Edward. 3 kills total, and the AWP save for Guardian in the next round. But Cloud9, how did they lose control of that? That was actually huge, because it was a 5v3 in the end, or well, I mean a 2v3 eventually for Na'Vi, the man advantage for Cloud9, and they just got picked off one after another there, Cloud9.
Yeah, and it didn't even look like they were doing like horrible overextensions. You know, they were just trying to hold the bomb site from C connector mainly. Which credit to Na'Vi for bringing it back in that round, and it's about time as well. We're at 6-1 here and moving into the 8th round, so they definitely needed to get on the board. They have done so now. And we still haven't really seen that Skadoodle versus Guardian or battle, but maybe we will at some point here. See if we can get that unfolding. Freakazoid going to check A main, and the problem is Flamey has the shadow advantage here. The shadow on the ground will show before the actual model will, so Flamey, easy pickup for him.
Yeah, a little bit surprising not to see some kind of teamwork coming through there as well. With nothing being so close, he could have probably flashed Freak in. Could have been something. I mean, sure, you're giving away information, but if that guarantees you the kill, whatever, you know, just get that flash out there, get that kill, and then back off and make Na'Vi sweat. Instead, now it's Na'Vi with that man advantage, and this is where they excel. They're just going to go back to default, and they know that Cloud9, you know, they might be tempted to try and go for some kind of hero play. They want to be in position to punish that, and then just, you know, go ahead and fall into their execute once the time comes. I mean, we're just getting past that minute mark, and now they're going to start thinking, okay, we have 3 players up in the brown halls right now. Rotate that bomb over. 4 players about to go crashing into this B-side defense, and it's all on Stewie2K. He's alone here on the site. Nobody even close to rotate to help him out.
God, this is going to be really tough. He does have a Molotov, and he hasn't put it up yet, but he needs a quick kill, and then he needs to stay alive most of all, and he's not going to be able to accomplish that. Flamey will take him out. Sue's already close to the C-Connect, so anyone rotating in is going to have a hard time. They're going to have to deal with him before they can even deal with the bomb site itself, and so just staying alive right now is making life pretty tough. A good grenade coming out. Well, Flamey to finish off that kill for the triple, in fact, and they almost line up. They will line up for Z's, coming in with the flank, and Na'Vi winning that round without losing a single player. Wow, so in the space of 2 rounds, the whole tune of this match has changed a little bit, and now Cloud9 have got to be careful. They are going to be buying in this round. If they lose it, then suddenly Na'Vi could go from 6-0 to 6-4 in the space of a couple of minutes.
This is where we start to see that timeout factor come into play as well for the Tier 1 teams. It always seems like they get a timeout, they just talk over what's going wrong, or they take a deep breath and just reset themselves. I'm going to use a word that's been tilting Thorn recently. You know, they want to break that momentum of their opponents, and usually it's effective. A Tier 1 team, they know how to shut down or just turn things back their way. So 2 rounds after the timeout for Na'Vi, and they're looking fantastic now. At this point, it's really putting a lot of pressure on Cloud9 because that money, that economy is gone for Cloud9, so they're backed up to the wall at this point. If they lose this round, it's going to put them into an awkward quasi-buy eco sort of situation.
Exact same setup at the A-bomb side here for Cloud9. They tried to alternate it last round, having Freakazoid check main, and that backfired on them, so there might just be a sort of a direct response to that, saying, alright, well, the other thing worked, so let's just keep going. Na'Vi, on the other hand, have they figured it out yet that this is what's going on? They really should have, and if they have, I mean, it leaves a back opening almost into CT spawn on the B-bomb side. They could just smoke it off and walk right past Shroud if they wanted to. I mean, he's going to be able to look over the smoke when he's on the train, but if they just check that angle, then they might be able to make it through. So we'll see if that's going to happen here. Ceased actually climbing under the smoke. Na'Vi being very precise right now, but Shroud, he's going to be catching Flamey, and that's a good opening frag. Did he realize there's a second player he won't, and it's going to be a great opening kill to Ceased, but he goes down right afterwards.
Yeah, that's actually a little bit surprising. Could have swore that Shroud would have heard the footsteps there. Just lots of track. Was expecting more targets perhaps to show themselves. Freakazoid does step up though. He wins that fight, and now there's a man advantage here for Cloud9 on the hold. Zeus manages to pick up one, but the trade comes right back. Nothing there to take out Edward. And it's all on Guardian and Zeus now at this point. Nothing steps forward, removes Zeus from the map, and with 15 seconds left on this clock, Guardian just doesn't have the time to make the play. 10 seconds, yeah, he realizes, wait a second. Not going to be able to make the play for B site, so he decides to hold on to his AWP.
I'm really curious about if I was Na'Vi right now, I would probably try and think about maybe actually doing a rush at Ivy with Tech9s, because Shroud's been playing very well right now. But you could do it with the rifles if you wanted to as well, but I don't think there's any way Shroud's going to be defeating 3 players. The problem is they face that angle by going in one at a time, so he's always going to be able to get a kill and then sort of hide, maybe get 2 kills and hide, and that's all he needs. But they should use the fact that they can sort of counter the idea of him being alone there to help out, especially if they put down good smokes.
This has just got to be very frustrating for Na'Vi, because you can be sure that they were feeling how close they were getting to getting an eco out of Cloud9, to forcing them to breaking their economy. Cloud9 winning that round and winning it decisively as well is just, you know, bought them a breath of fresh air, basically, a second chance. And it's going to be Na'Vi now the ones who spend all of their money to get equipped in this round.
And look at this, Siege, you can see he's focused on Shroud's position. He knows he's going to be down there. They've got 3 people coming from the other side, and there it is. They just sandwich Shroud in, having seized down early in main. So finally they exploit that weakness, and that's a great way to start the round. Second kill coming in, nothing going to be going down. Freakazoid to follow, and now it's up to Stewie and Skadul, and they are going to make their way out of that A-bomb site. And you can't really blame them for that. Really, really good execute from Na'Vi. And you can see as soon as Seized is out there, he starts looking down towards the end of that train. He knows that Shroud's going to be there. Well, Guardian taking care of business once, and Stewie, well, he's going to get the frag at least. Actually, the second one doing some good damage here to the Na'Vi economy. That matters.
Shame he wasn't expecting a third one to be there. Pulls the knife out, gets punished, but still, right now, I mean, this is a fantastic scoreline as far as Cloud9 are concerned. It is going to put them onto a bit of a pistol situation here for themselves. Their economy wasn't quite as strong as I thought it was, but Na'Vi, they will succeed in the end at actually getting an easy round. You know, air quotations, right? Easy round. Still possible to throw against pistols, but still. It's going to give them a good shot at actually getting some momentum rolling their way here, get up to that 4th round, and we'll see how far they can take it. If this can be a very decisive win in this round, then Na'Vi will have the money, they'll have the breathing room, and they should be able to close out the second half strongly. But first shot rings out, and it's going to be a miss from Guardian.
Yeah, and I mean, even though it's been looking great for Cloud9 so far, we got to remind everyone as well that because of how good Na'Vi are, you know, they don't need that many rounds on this T side, I think, to make it still through on the CT side. So you got to be careful here. Skadula with some action long range, and it's all up to Stewie now in a 1-on-3 with an AK in his hand. So bit of a tough position. At least, again, they managed to inflict some damage to Na'Vi's economy, and that could still play a factor in this game. Actually,
yeah, if he could pick up just one more, that would be huge. It's Guardian as well, who's out on his own hunting right now, so if they could find Guardian, just one more kill would be great, just to force somebody on Na'Vi's side to force buy. The Guardian was up close, and he just catches Stewie K. Stewie was just so focused on Pop Dog, he was waiting for somebody to come out from the B site. It's just not going to pan out this time around. So 3 players survive for Na'Vi. They're going to be able to maintain that economy pretty strong as well, considering Guardian and Flamey both start the round with 7,300 in the bank. So that's a bit of a shame there for Cloud9. They missed an opportunity, and it looks like now they're kind of teetering on the edge. They're still waiting to see if they're going to go for that force or not, and it's going to be a quasi in the end.
In terms of who's doing well right now, you've got to appreciate the fact that Cloud9 are almost all tied. Like, it's 3 people on 9 kills, and then the last 2, Stu and Freakazoid, on 7. So that's almost no difference at all. Whereas on the other team, I mean, you've got to look at Flamey and Seized. Now, Flamey's no surprise, but it's always interesting to see Seized come into play right now. And now comes the question, where is Guardian? Where are the big opening picks here on the terrorist side that they do need every once in a while? I think that would sort of push them over the edge here and actually have a really good first half.
Oh, it happens.
NA
Pro
grenades.
players, exactly. They mess up nades. It happens every now and again. Seized. Nobody saw that. We weren't watching. But the Guardian was able to identify early that this was another save round out of Cloud9, which meant that Na'Vi instantly, once they get that info, they all fall back. They wait to see where the push is going to be coming from. That doesn't help them in the end. Eventually, Freakazoid steps up and actually takes out Seized, but they will be able to sneak their way out onto this B site behind the smoke. Nice spot there. They do manage to do some big damage to nothing, forcing them back, and eventually Edward will hunt them down. And that leaves it down to Stewie 2K, Shroud, and Freakazoid here to try and have an impact. Flamey taking the long-range duel with Shroud, nearly winning it, but he gets headshot. It's getting a little dangerous. Edward's finally going to be able to step in there and just take that fight close quarters and win it. And Zeus with the double spray down up in the Brown Halls, managing to just close out the round nice and neat. 4 players survive for Na'Vi. And we're going to have now a 7-5 scoreline. And Cloud9, finally, they're going to be able to get that big buy again. Well,
7-5, and that's how little has to change for this to work out for Na'Vi. Now, I think they could be pretty comfortable. If this finishes 10-5, I think Na'Vi are going to shrug and say, well, you know, one pistol round 1 and we're home free.
Right.
So Brian out Cloud9, they've got to double down, and in fact they will. Double AWP with Shroud playing one of them.
Interesting choice. There's just shots all over the place right now. Even a bit of a wallbang coming out from Guardian, I think. Not sure if that's what caught out Freakazoid.
Yeah, he's in the angle, so it could have been.
Freakazoid, yeah, taking a lot of damage. And Edward showing that he's actually got a bit of a wallbang there to try and hit the top of the train in case anybody's trying to hold close to A main up there. Might take a little bit of damage. But yeah, Na'Vi, they've definitely decided to slow it down. And they're really, I mean, it started off with them playing a little aggro Ivy and actually trying to get in Shroud's face. Now they've just kind of elected to just back off over there, hold very far back, and wait to see if Cloud9 are the ones getting aggressive on that part of the map. And once again, they're just going to be, showing some interest in that B site. They have shown a decent variety, Na'Vi, switching it up between B and A. So they haven't really been focusing on just the one site. So it's making sure that Cloud9 have to stay honest, basically. They can't try and cheat over onto the A site, keep 4 players there, and just leave the sole man on B. Instead, they actually have to keep the setup here with 2 players on the B site. Now I have to see if it's actually going to be effective here. Skadoodle 4 stops, smoke is there, and now he spots the man on the site. That allows Stewie to actually get in there and get the kill. Man advantage to Stewie, just doing Stewie things. And he's going to get punished.
He's trying to make it work, but not quite. Freakazoid going to go down as well. Skadoodle in the back lines, he's just been zoned out by that one smoke. Has essentially left him completely handicapped in that bomb site. And now Shroud and Skadoodle left 2 versus 4. Great execute from Na'Vi. Very, very easy, very simple. And a bit of a shame that that's all it took, Yeah,
that's the frustrating thing where it's like the timing, right? If Ska, he isn't dropping back now. Evian Edward is on the other side of the map. He gets out Skadoodle. He spots out Shroud. If they lose both of these AWPs, it's going to be a big problem for Cloud9. And Edward successfully picks up both kills. That's a triple kill for him at the end of the round in a key round. And that puts them up onto 6 rounds now, Na'Vi. And this is well within their comfort zone. I mean, Now you're right. You were just mentioning that where it's like, okay, Na'Vi have got to be feeling pretty good about themselves. Getting up onto 6 rounds of their T side on train. Yeah, this is that feel-good moment now for Na'Vi where they should be feeling like they've got everything under control.
So, you got to want to, I think some AWPers, and Guardian could have been one of them, and JW could have been another one. If they'd seen that smoke go down on upper, would they have actually jumped up and tried to go aggressive instead? Because it works as sort of a wall both ways, right? So you could also be trying to push it like that, but he fell back, and ultimately when Stewart went down, that was kind of the end of that bomb site. There was no one else to defend anything. Quick trade early on here, bit of a deagle shot coming through from Shroud, but he goes down to Edward. And now it's still a 3-on-4, nothing, also falling very low. And it looks like Na'Vi are going to have no issues this round. That's going to going to tie the scoreline at 7-7 and put us into the last round of the half here. Na'Vi taking some time. In fact, it was 6-0 early on, and now we're back at 7-7. Now, that should tell you something about sort of Na'Vi taking that time out and coming back in this game.
Exactly. And Cloud9, you know, it's exactly that as well. Na'Vi, super effective timeout, totally broke Cloud9's momentum. They got everything rolling for themselves after that. Cloud9 haven't used their timeout. When they were starting to lose control of the situation, when Na'Vi were getting close and really starting to get rounds on the board, Cloud9, we haven't seen them go for the pause. We haven't seen them try to use it as a weapon to try and, stumble Na'Vi. Hasn't happened, and now, I mean, they're paying for it. 7-7, and Na'Vi, I mean, they're primed now to go into the second half just super strong, because if they pick up that pistol round, Na'Vi run away with this game. Their CT side on train is excellent as well.
Again, very slow start here from Na'Vi. Apart from C sort of running into the A courtyard really early on, we haven't seen too much aggression from them early in the rounds. Previous, last time he tried to walk in blind, this time he's going to try and pop flash win, but look at that. He got the flashbang on Flamey, but then Edward is there. He couldn't get flash, he was behind the boxes. That's just a great place. Kadul going to go down as well. Now it's down to Stewie and Shroud, and Na'Vi just actually counting on the aggression this time for Cloud9, and they just counter it perfectly.
This is going to be heartbreaking for Shroud, because he actually flashes into Ivy just to verify, just to see if anybody's there, get that info. Little does he know, C's just creeping up on him. And so Shroud holding on this angle. He might get forced out. Molotov is going to be a bit too deep, so it's not going to be an issue for him. C's, though, might be the one to fall for the trap here unless Shroud makes a move. And yes, Shroud will be able to pick up Flamey. C's misses the point-blank shot. And slowly but surely, they're getting kills here, Cloud9. They bring it back to a 2-on-3. 37 seconds left on this clock, and that bomb hasn't been planted yet.
Oh. Shroud almost blowing himself up there. Stewie getting really close to the bottom right now. Could he actually buy enough time? It's not going to happen. It will be Seuss and Guardian to get the last couple of kills in. And that's going to leave us with Na'Vi essentially winning the first half at 8-7. That's a huge scoreline for Na'Vi. And, we were talking about sort of being Flamey and Cease carrying the load early on. Well, now Edward ends up top fragging at 12 kills, and Shroud being right behind him at 11. And then the rest of Cloud9. That was just a really, really weird sort of first half here. And I think you were talking about this, where is the timeout for Cloud9 potentially? Yeah. I think it feels weird taking the timeout when you've just had such a good run. You feel like any moment we're certainly going to get back into it, and that moment just never came.
No, this is where you need to step. This is where, I don't know, Stunna, somebody who's outside of the game, right? Who's able to take that step back, who isn't directly involved. I'm not telling you throwing in the towel, right? Because that's when you quit, right? But definitely. Definitely deciding, to take a bit of a breather. Yeah. Like at any point in time, once Na'Vi start to get that roll going, like you need to be able to actually just say, okay, call the timeout, take a pause, take a break, and figure out, what we need to change. Or, we've even heard of teams that take that timeout and they don't talk. They'll just sit there for a minute and just, sit and breathe and try and, refocus themselves.
I think it sort of snuck up on them because they won 6 rounds, then lost 2, then they won the single one. And probably at that point they're thinking, okay, we're back in the saddle, boys. We've got 7-2 scoreline here. Surely it's going to be fine. And it finishes 7-8 with Na'Vi winning 6 rounds in a row at the end. And I think you probably don't see that coming. You do think that, it's just a matter of time. So I think maybe it snuck up on them that Na'Vi were going to take that kind of a run.
And you were making that point, about both of these teams are very even at this point, actually. You've got 3 players in the double digits for Na'Vi, and then Seized and Guardian not trailing too far behind with 8 each. So, both of these teams, it's not like there's there's a big weakness where, okay, they can identify this one player is clearly not feeling his game. He's struggling a little bit. Let's go and hit him repeatedly. Everybody's kind of hitting their shots if they're given the opportunity. So it really is coming down to this very slow, methodical style from Na'Vi. The fact that they keep going back to their defaults, and they keep getting the accurate reads as well, where they can start feeling like, okay, Cloud9, as this progresses and as Na'Vi keep getting more and more rounds on the T side, they actually stopped playing so aggressive towards Ivy. They stopped taking forward positions where they might get rushed down by some kind of crazy play coming out from Cloud9. They kept playing farther and farther back until they're just like, okay, now we're ready to just, kind of grind out this round. So during the first part of the first half of the round, right, they just sit and wait, and then they just start, moving across the map, slowly, methodically, winning duels. It's really terrifying to watch, actually, Na'Vi, when they hit their stride. Just doesn't feel like there isn't much you can do against it apart from just hit your crazy shots.
And we have the second half coming up here, the pistol round, and we do have two, well actually, yeah, smoke just went out, second one as well, so it looks like a set execute coming out here from Cloud9. This is a really important round for them. If they lose this, now they're going to be so far ahead. Zeus with the opening frag, shutting down Virtus.Pro and dropping the bomb, seized, and Zeus joining in, and now it's nothing in Skadoodle left, and there's pretty much no way to get back in a round like this, unless huge mistakes are made on the Navi side, and it really shouldn't be the case. Yeah, bomb park, that would be a big win right now, but oh no! Edward lands a headshot, and that's going to be the end of it. 9-7.
Devastated, man. They must be feeling devastated at this point.
Yeah.
Cloud9. They're hoping. They've actually, they clearly had a thought process going into this round. Like two guys going for utility, setting up the smoke, setting up the flashes. They just weren't counting on getting completely wrecked when it came to the fights. Like Zeus, where did Zeus come from? All of a sudden, he's just hitting pistol headshots left and right all over the place, and they just get completely annihilated.
Right, I mean, here's what, if you count the rounds they lost from the first half, that was 6 in a row. Counting this one, 7. We could be up to 8, 9 rounds in a row if they win the next 2 rounds here, Navi. For Cloud9, that's also demoralizing. You can only take so many rounds in a row that you lose before you start to question, can we even do this? Are we even competitive right now? And obviously, we're looking at a set executed. Navi tried the exact same thing, and they got utterly shut down when they tried to do this. See if Cloud9 are going to have more success with it.
Well, Zeus is just dancing on the edge of the smoke right now. He's going to be in one of the few spots that they're going to be checking. Freakazoid just charges him straight up, but it's not before the damage is done. Freakazoid's already lost 2, 3, 4 teammates, and he's now the last man alive. And it's just not for long. So, yeah, same results as when they tried to run it, that smoke execute onto the A side, hoping, this isn't the old version of Train where you used to be able to just drop that smoke on the yellow barrel and you get guaranteed plant, just stand behind that barrel, they can't wall bang it, sit there and plant. Just doesn't seem to happen anymore.
Well, it's also just the fact that when this strategy was sort of first put into play, nobody really knew how to counter it, right? That wall of smokes went up, and you didn't necessarily know how to stop it. But now everybody does, right? You see the smokes in the air, and you know what's coming. It's an easy call, right? Everyone gets into the right position, and that's it. So you're almost sort of signaling a little bit too much to the enemy anyway. You're just saying like, well, we're gonna be doing this, telegraphing as it were in boxing terms. That's not good. That's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work against the Navi who are fired up and hitting shots. As we saw, Zeus, yeah, sure, Freakazoid rushed him down, but he insta-killed one of them. And now Flamey, wow, this is like the slowest peek ever. It just actually strolls right in there. Don't mind me, guys. Just going to go ahead and peek up here. 2 guys waiting for him from Cloud9. Seized is there to just stop Shroud cold. That bomb does get dropped onto the bomb site, so that helps, except that, Stewie 2K is dead. And now Freakazoid follows suit. So another 4 players, like Navi, they're just getting all these rounds on the board with 4 players surviving, so their money is just fantastic. Nearly 9K on the, nearly 9K for Flamey going into this key round. They have the money to do whatever they want, and not like in the first round, in the first half rather, where Guardian wasn't able to get his op in the first buy round. Now he's got his op, no problem. He's got full nades behind it. Everything here for Navi to just set up and just shut down Cloud9.
11-7 is the current scoreline, and I'd be curious to see if Skadoodle can find some of those opening frags that Guardian really didn't do. It wasn't really Guardian that opened up a lot of the rounds that they had on the T side. It'd be nice to see Skadoodle, because that's one of the strengths of having the AWP on the T side. Otherwise, why pick it up? Because you're going to be a little bit more immobile, you're going to be a little bit slower. Stewie with a great opening on Flamey, and that sets Cloud9 off on a much-needed and good course here.
Yeah, that's that confidence play coming out from Flamey. Just like, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and, go for the smoke, the trick smoke, basically. Get up on that little ledge and see if I can catch somebody out of position. Cloud9 just not going to get caught off guard this time. Zeus, however, is going to catch Shroud as they try and push onto the A site, and he spots out Freakazoid as well. Freakazoid takes that fight straight up, and he has the bomb as well. Had he died there, Cloud9 would have been in dire straits. Now at least they actually get some control of the map, and they're catching out the rotators as well. Edward dead in Link.
Stewie with the second kill of the round here. Seized and Guardian are going to have to work really well together to even try and salvage this round. Freakazoid crouching in great angle, nothing going to go down. And here's where you have to be careful. If there's one player you've got to respect in a 1vx situation like this, it might just be Guardian. Even with 7 health, if you give him any kind of an opening, you never know what can happen. The bomb is about to go down, and Guardian, he can't actually rotate into an angle, and it's going to be Skadoodle to shut it down. So there we go. And actually, I could hear Cloud9 getting kind of loud here in the...
you heard Stunner. Stunner's just like, come on, guys, let's go. Let's get it going.
It's what I need,
please. They need some confidence right now. They really do need to get something going for themselves.
Why have American teams in the tournament seminar if they're not going to be shouting?
Well, as the day drags on, teams have been getting a little bit quieter. You know, we had Splice. Splice didn't really have much chance to get hyped. They just got completely trounced.
But the few times that they did bring.
They did get pretty hyped, yeah.
Yeah, they brought it. I like that.
I think the real one was Astralis versus Gambit. They were going ham at each other. All right, well, this is a way to change things up. Seized, straight flash.
Yeah, but look at the huge play on Guardian here. He's actually pushed down Ivy and has checked that there's nobody in T-spawn, so they just know Seized. He could have easily got a second kill, but Su's going to go down as well. They might be losing a bit of control here, and now as they walk back in, Guardian, is he going to realize that Freakazoid is in this position? It's a bit unlikely for him to check. Flame takes down one, and almost a second one as well. Shroud and Freakazoid, it's a 2-on-2, but they have a pretty big health disadvantage. Not that it's really going to matter when you got the AWP, and now all on Shroud. 1-on-2. He's got the bomb in hand and about a minute left on the clock, and that smoke's going to fade. Edward is already tracked right on it. There will be a double kill, and Na'Vi making it 12-8. And that is going to put a really, really big stop to Cloud9's economy. There is sort of a 1 in 1,000 chance right now that those two orbs could backfire, just because retaking with two orbs against a team that's, if you're in a 5v3, you don't want 2 out of those 3 rifles to be AWPs, right? So a lot of things will have to go right, but there is that one thing that could be working out here. Flamey, instant kill and seized, and the Flamey with the follow-up Molotov, and that puts an end to any dream of them getting something out of this round.
Yeah, this is just painful. They haven't taken a single point of damage. Not a single point of damage taken by Na'Vi in that round. That's as brutal as it gets. You're not even going to get close. You actually don't even get set foot onto the bomb site. Just completely shut down. That's the worst case scenario. Skadoodle, because he bought that P250 in the last round, he's $50 short of a glass cannon AWP. And so now, tough decisions here need to be made. What can he do? He's going to have to just go AK, straight up AK. But I mean, he's the kind of guy you really want that AWP on him. If he can catch somebody out, try and pick one up off of Na'Vi, that would be huge. But right now, Cloud9, this is it. The Hail Mary. If they lose this round, Na'Vi, they're going to be up on 14 and within grasping distance of that match point. And it looks like Cloud9, they're trying to go straight up for the change of pace here. Shroud straight down at the pop dog, aggressively taking control of that part of the map. Clears it out, backs off, and now he's going to start worrying about B-Halls. But in the meantime, his teammates, they're pushing aggressive A main to getting out through Ivy, and this is where the action starts. Freakazoid, he's going to catch out Zeus.
Big opening kill, but they need to follow up quick before the rotation coming. It's already happening. Every single member of Na'Vi is coming to this bomb site. So Cloud9, they either have to execute or fall back, which they would have the time to do if they really wanted it. But it seems like they're going to commit, and they're running right into all members of Na'Vi. There's a good shot from Shroud before he goes down. Guardian actually getting a kill, and then Flaming with the Molotov to follow up on Stewie. It's all on nothing, and Freakazoid here. 2-on-2. Now coming up with the second kill. Oh, so that was Freakazoid stealing in front of him, and now Flaming walking into it. He's going to go down. What a great win here for Cloud9. It looked really unlikely that they were going to win that. They essentially attacked a bomb site with 4 people in it and lost the early engagements, but it worked out anyway.
That's where you kind of get dumbfounded. You kind of wonder how do Na'Vi actually lose control of that situation and allow them to get so close? Is it because Zeus died so early outside of A main that Cloud9 were able to sneak somebody up close and actually start applying the pressure, start really trying to split that side open?
Yes, so definitely something went wrong on the Na'Vi defense there, because they made the rotation call very, very early. As soon as they lost the first man, they were all running there.
Oh no. Missing smokes as well. A little bit of a shaky start here for Cloud9. You cannot afford to miss smokes, and especially if you're really trying to go for a fast play. Looked like that was what they were shaping up to go for here. But.
Right, and I mean, you'd be surprised even at the top level how often that can happen. Either people missing their smokes or sort of not remembering how to do them, you know? Because you have to have a pretty large catalog of smokes in your head, right? Sometimes someone will call a strat and, you know, player will just say, I don't know. Also, Orc being picked up by Guardian, which is interesting.
It's MLG, Anders.
It's MLG, is true.
It's only fair. Big spray from Edward to start things off. Holding close, and he gets the headshot onto Freakazoid somehow. Man advantage, a two-man advantage here for Navi, and he even falls back. Edward just too good right now. He's going to be able to make it out of there. And Cloud9 now with 3 players still looking to split up this A site. Nothing is going to have to take the fight straight up with Zeus, and he does win it, hands down. So now we're back into a 3-on-4.
And Guardian is sort of trapped in that corner, but he picks up the 1 kill now. They're going to try and see if they can take him out, and they will be successful. It's back into a 2-on-2 somehow. Cloud9 actually make it back into this round. Skadoodle going to get the 1 kill. He shot him back, and he can't make it out. Edward picking up a triple kill. That was a matter of pixels. If he could have made it in behind that carriage, that would have been just fine. He could have actually survived, but instead, it is going to be 9-14. And Navi 2 rounds away here from taking out Cloud9. And I don't know, honestly, the level that Cloud9 have brought here is I think a step above what I was expecting.
I agree. Now the question remains to be seen, can they make it to double digits, or is this going to be like the full Navi show? Because again, this is Cloud9. I mean, they're hoping to get lucky. They got to go for the force buy again. Their money wasn't solid enough to just, you know, go full AKs even. It's a mix of Tech 9s, the single Galil picked up on Shroud. And they are trying to change up that pace. They're going to be wrapping around towards the B side. It's going to get a bit tricky here for Flamey, who has the MP9. Not nearly the best weapon, but he's still going to get 2. How does that even happen? Shroud and Stewie 2K, both caught by the SMG. And we're back into a 3-on-3 here somehow.
Yeah, it looked like he could have got
railroaded. That's what I was thinking
out of that. It looked like it could have been an awful position there. And 3rd kill coming in from Cloud9. Skadoodle taking out Guardian. He's going to bring it into a favorable position here. Oh, seized. This is a big risk. If he goes aggressive and he dies over at the B-bomb site, that's it. The round is done. Edward picking up a kill. If they try and run into Cease, they've got so much information right now, and there's almost no way Cloud9 is going to be expecting that Cease will be fast behind them.
Yeah, no, you got to love that Cease's taking his time. He goes for the pistol just to move that much faster, and now he's so quick into Pop Dog. The timing, it's going to completely wreck Nothing, who's looking the wrong way. Nothing expecting the push to come in from Link. Instead, it's Edward in the back line to catch out Skadoodle, and that bomb, at least the bomb gets planted for Cloud9, so they'll get a little bit of bonus money to work with in the next round. But that was a big win from Seized. And from Flamey in particular, I gotta give it to him, man. The MP9 up close, I was expecting him to just get completely run over and everything to work well there for Cloud9. But the fact that he gets 2 kills completely threw everything out of whack for Cloud9.
Right now it is Flamey and Edward, in fact, who's top fragging Edward at 21 kills. So a little bit out of the ordinary, but it's not like the rest of Navi are really far behind. There's not like a huge difference here. Still, it's encouraging to see. I think that's you know, if you're Navi, you're going to be fine with that, because there could only be so many games before you know Guardian is going to go into full beast mode. Yeah. So, you know, there's no harm in him starting slow if he's going to be back and playing later. Now, it is match and map point for Navi here. Cloud9, they have to make this work. They're playing one of the toughest opponents in the world right now that they could be playing in this group. Well, certainly the toughest in the group, but they need to come up with a little bit more right now. Flamey picking up the 1st kill on Stewie, and actually Flamey out of bullets, going to be trying to fall back, and Nothing instantly punishing him for that.
And he will get rushed. That's the kind of no-fear approach you need to have. You just need to go charging after him, get that trade frag, start getting things to go your way. Bomb is going to be rotated onto that B side as well, and Nothing, he's camped out. He's waiting to see where the rotation is going to come from, and I do believe he just spotted out Edward, but that flash timing is perfect, and Zeus finds a kill in the meantime. So we do get that man advantage now for Navi. They have the gear advantage as well, and Caesar's just going to straight up take that fight with Nothing, win it hands down. Edward is roasting, and he gets dropped down to 6 HP. But it's still a massive advantage here for Navi going into the retake, and it's all on Shroud, and it's just not meant to be. Navi will be winning their first match in this group, and Cloud9, despite their best efforts, they will not make it to 10 rounds.
I just point out that kill on Freakazoid is actually what made the round, because he was flanking through A main and into C connector. So as soon as they kill Freakazoid, they know that it's not going to be an A push. They can focus all their attention on B, and they don't have to worry about any kind of flank. So that 1 kill on that all sort of essentially revealed the whole strategy from Cloud9 in that round. But still, I would still say I think Cloud9 showed me more than I was expecting here.
14 rounds. Out of the last 16 rounds, Cloud9 picked up 2.
Yeah.
Like total and utter dominance after that timeout. That timeout pretty much won Navi the game, because after that timeout they won nearly everything. They won every round apart from 3. Like, that's complete and utter dominance.
What a match, and I mean, again, we saw the sort of the how effective that timeout was for Na'Vi. You sort of hope at one point Cloud9 could have had a similar.
Guardian kind of mentioned it. You know, once we downloaded their defense and figured out what they were doing, we exploited it.
Yeah, C9 was, pretty adamant about their setup, playing Ivy passively, Shroud on that sixth train, as people call it. And I was also surprised how Navi didn't react to it a bit earlier, maybe even after winning those 2 rounds. They got beaten by it again. But it was just an example how, yeah, C9 is a good team, but why Navi is a great team, how they're able to adjust and win, or maybe how C9 is not able to adjust as much, and how now it was able to win consecutive rounds on the T side.
Yeah, I mean, they figured it out, and even before the pause, and they started sending massive amounts of bodies over towards Ivy, over towards Alley, and Cloud9 won 1 or 2 of those rounds like that. But I think maybe once that pause comes in, and then Navi all of a sudden, sends a little bit more. They win around there, they break the money, and Cloud9 still not adjusting to that. I think maybe that's where they're hurting from not having Irakanji here, to maybe call a pause, to maybe say, all right, guys, they figured it out. Now we have to set up a crossfire. Someone get on the other side, towards the back side of the train. So someone needs to be there to kind of help Shroud out, because that really passive setup, that's just too difficult once it gets read. But I mean, you could see the individual level of Cloud9 players is at a good place, and it's looked good in North America. It's just hard to judge how that's going to be going up against Europeans. But I think individually they were in a good spot. They just got outplayed tactically.
I mean, keep in mind as well for Navi, Garden had the 1 round out of 7 in the beginning there, so I think that they underestimated
down smoke. Throwing a grenade. Middle. Injury out. Smoke. Smoke. Throwing flashbang. Flashbang. Grenade out. Deploying flashbang. Grenade out. Smoke. Laying down smoke. Throwing flashbang. Smoke. I'm throwing smoke. I am planting the bomb. Bomb has been planted. Throwing a flashbang. Terrorists win. I must say no. Go, go, go! With much thanks. Hold this position. I'm throwing smoke. Grenade. Flashbang. I'm throwing a flashbang. Cover this area. Grenade. Throwing smoke. Smoke. Throwing smoke. Deploying flashbang. Throwing a grenade. Grenade. Flashbang. Smoke. Planting. Bomb has been planted. Grenade. Throwing a flashbang. Grenade out. Terrorists win.
Not be that aggressive as he was. But then, you know, again, Navi, great read on the situation, and yeah, it was a good retake.
It was really smart play from C's as well, because his teammate had just died, you know, on that stairwell, you know, towards those box halls. So he makes the decision to get re-aggressive when he feels no more pressure coming, and just the timing of it worked out perfectly in his favor. And yeah, so much intel gained, such a quick flank that you could see Jordan. You know, usually the game sense will tick in where you're like, all right, this is where, you know, any flank from the inner bomb site is going to start coming in like 5 seconds until I have to worry about it. But he's already 5 seconds ahead of that. So you could see it just didn't kind of register in the game sense.
Także uważam, że dorastanie w małym miasteczku chociaż bywa trudne, bo nie pozwala rozwijać swoich pasji, ale jak widać, jak ktoś bardzo chce, to może osiągnąć swój cel, czego dowodem jest na przykład Jarek.
My city was very small and we don't have nothing to do there, and someday someone is opening the internet cafe. I just say to my friends, let's try the computer games.
jest zaprzeczeniem takiego klasycznego gracza komputerowego, który tylko siedzi z nosem przy komputerze.
Jarek jest bardzo aktywnym człowiekiem, lubi ćwiczyć i...
If I have to describe Pasha in one word, it would be biceps.
When I wake up, I go straight to the gym, so my mind is fresh, and I can make a better decision in the game, in my life. Each day I don't go to the gym, I feel I am not a Pasha biceps.
Sometimes he just played bad tournaments because there is not good enough gym at the hotel, but when there is, believe me, he's playing awesome. Pasha became most popular Counter-Strike player in the world thanks to his personality, because he's not acting, he's just being himself.
Czas, kiedy Jarek przeszedł na gracza profesjonalnego, z tego bardziej amatorskiego, był dla nas bardzo trudny. Tuż przed ślubem Jarek bardzo zastanawiał się, czy kontynuować grę w Counter-Strike.
So I think it's say, Pasha, you need to make a better future for your family and to join to the normal life.
But then Neo and Taz explained him that the community is going to grow up.
Pozostawiłam tą decyzję jemu. W sumie nawet nie pytał, co sądzę. To miała być jego decyzja, to jak on czuje, czy on chce, czy nie chce.
He decided that he will come back to the team.
The government of my hometown, they asked me about the help to win the playground for the kids.
It was pretty no chance for a small city as Nasielskis, so he wrote to his fans, please guys, help me for votes, and they did it. He's just a great guy, but I would say his baby made him an even better person than he was before.
Ważne jest to, że kiedy zaczął się poród, Jarek grał. Siedziałam w drugim pokoju i wołałam: kotku, rodzę! To już! A on podnosił tylko słuchawkę i mówił: jeszcze chwilę, gram! Zakładał słuchawkę.
It was the most nervous, few hours in my life. 100 times more nervous than the most important event in Counter-Strike. So this for me was the real event in hospital. For me the hardest thing is traveling, because I leave my family.
Jest odważny, ponieważ podjął się takiej pracy, która wbrew pozorom jest bardzo trudna.
Nothing can stop me to be the best father in the world and be one of the best players in the world. I always have the fighter heart, but what motivated me the most was my dream to buy a house for my family. I never have my own room. I always the share room with my
Bardzo trudna.
nothing.
Thank you very much. Yes, we are going to get into it, and it did random to train again. What is it with Valve and random algorithms? Do they even know how they work?
Yeah, it's just, well, you know, there's 7 maps in the pool. It's actually randoming from all 7 maps. It just so happens to be that the other 6 in the pool are trained.
Apparently so. I mean,
so there you go.
There's I don't know. There's probably some hipster mathematician out there trying to start a debate in Twitch chat about, you know, the true nature of random functions, stuff like that.
Well, how many times can it go black or red, right?
Yeah,
in a row.
Yeah.
I learned this lesson.
I'm never letting you cut loose in Vegas ever again.
Thank you.
Never.
Thank you, Anders. Watch my back, bro. Watch my back.
Well, we do have Virtus.Pro starting on the terrorist side. We have G2 on the CT side here. And I've got to say, I do favor G2 in this matchup as well. I think the French team has been playing very well. Recently felt French-Belgian team. Very, very impressive. But look at Virtus.Pro already rushing in and trying to see if they can get that early bomb planted. The B-bomb site. Snacks is going to be able to put it down. And a quick trade, I think, is going to heavily favor Virtus.Pro right now.
Yeah, this is actually going to put a little bit of pressure here onto G2 going into this retake. But RPK, he's going to be able to find that lurker. Pasha fairly early on. Existence, Shocks, and Scream already pushed up fairly close to this bomb site. Fresh smoke goes down as well just to buy a little bit more time. And Existence gets the random shot onto Snacks through the smoke. Well, this could really throw a wrench in things now for VP. They're down a man, but Neo is going to bring it back. Still down just the 1. But now Taz manages to tie it up. He's got that Tech 9. He's already rocking it. And now they bring it back to a 2-on-2. It's all on RPK and Shocks, and they're running out of time. No kit picked up just yet. So they really have to get on this bomb fast. The smoke goes down, and the straight up knife. Oh, straight in, and Neo dies from it. What is going on?
But they don't have a kit. Neo actually throws himself on the bomb. That's some real dedication from one of the most veteran players we have in this game. But in the end, it wasn't even that. It was just running out of time. And I don't understand why G2 took so long, because here's the thing. Once RPK, and you're actually right, once they get the flanker killed, that has to be a huge sigh of relief if you're going for the retake. You know, we don't have to worry about the flank. Let's just go we got the man advantage. At one point we even had a 2-man advantage. Just go for it right now, run in there. And they were very slow, and that allowed Virtus.Pro to make some of those plays, get some of those kills, even out the situation. So big start here for the Polish team. And, after that Pasha segment, you have to imagine there's going to be a couple of people out there who think, well, I kind of want Pasha to win, just because I think that was almost a bit emotional, wasn't it?
The biceps, right?
Yeah.
I know, that one tugged at my heartstrings.
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, look at this complete lack of respect coming out from VP, man. They just want to establish the pace, and the pace is fast now. They just get out onto that B site again so quickly. They catch out Shocks, who was the only man holding there with that MP9 up close, and now Bialy in Existence. They're going to have a bit of a duel, although Scream is going to be there to actually catch him out before that can happen. So now there's actually two-pronged assault going onto this B site now from G2 going into the retake. Scream in Existence, they can go into the brown halls, they can try and get a back there. And RPK and Smiths, they're in CT, but they aren't even actually going to take the fight in the end, it seems.
All right, so I am so confused. Why
I'm a little bit confused as well.
All right, so Existence is going to kind of stick around. I just thought maybe the better move, obviously they're going to try and save the SMGs, which I guess kind of makes sense. What I was hoping is that they'd actually try and sandwich VP in with the bomb, just try and say, well, you're going to have to fight your way out, and maybe end up blowing up with the bomb instead. VP will be successful in fighting their way out, but they choose CT spawn where no SMGs or anything else was. So, I mean, it's just still not a bad round. They get 2 kills for G2. They save 2 of the SMGs. They have armor. Something could be built on top of this.
Yeah, they actually dropped quite a bit. I mean, they went full rifles, it seemed, VP, and they actually managed to lose one of them. So a little bit of a costly mistake there, but still, I mean, they have 4 rifles again. In this round, Neo's just going to stick on the 5.7 because they know that there's going to be a bit of an off buy coming in here for G2 this round. Shoxy, he gets dropped that MP7. Is he just going to stay on it? Isn't going to invest in Kevlar. I was curious to see if he was actually going to go ahead and take that risk, take that step, give himself a little bit more of a fighting chance, but it's going to be Scream sitting with that CZ up close. He's got that Tech 9, he's got the Kevlar and the helmet as well. He can take a fight, but Shoxy, he's got faith in his MP7, man. See if he can actually pull it off.
Look at this. Neo's actually pushing up, which is, I mean, he's going to get the pistol to lose. That's not too bad, but the problem is his teammate can't help him from Pop Dog because there's a smoke going on there. So Neo's a little bit alone out in this courtyard here. And right on the other side, they've got to be careful. RPK and Neo practically bumping into each other here. It's going to be RPK, even without the armor here, to win that first fight. And that's a big kill, even if they don't actually get a rifle behind it. That's going to help them out just a little bit. Snacked up and out in the open. Existence to take him down. That's a huge kill. And luckily for Virtus.Pro, Bialy going to come back, not just with 1 or 2 or 3, but well, 3 is going to be the end of it. It seems Shocks and Scream 2 on 3 right now. And the bomb will be going down here. Taz to join in on the action. And Sharks, who got dropped that MP7 in the beginning, hasn't really managed to build anything on top of it.
He hasn't seen anybody, right? No action on B site to keep him entertained, so it's just going to be him kind of lurking around, hoping to catch somebody out on the backside. Pasha's already looking for a way out for his team right now, working his way out through A main. He's going to run into Shoxy, and there you can see the aim punch coming to effect. The fact that Shoxy didn't invest in that Kevlar means he's a very easy target for Pasha to pick up in the end. Single bullet will hit him, his aim goes wild, and then Pasha would be more than happy to take that fight at that point. So nothing working for G2 in that round, really, in the end.
Well, I mean, if it hadn't been for Bialy's triple there, that could have been a really, really bad round. That's so 3-0, and G2 in position to buy. Smith's picking up the AWP here.
Yeah, now it's, I mean, Smith's has been, I mean, he's obviously, you know, they've kind of like focused on him being that op man, focused on him getting that op and actually trying to have an impact with it. Shoxy's picked it up a little bit in the past, but it seems like Shoxy, he's content to sit on that rifle and try and let Smith, you know, go to work with the op. But Smith, he takes that aggressive peek over by Alley where Pasha likes to hang out, and he's going to get slapped down to 16 HP right off the bat. And now VP, I mean, they know that they've managed to do quite a bit of damage to Smith, so he's going to be feeling antsy. He's going to play a bit more passive. And then the lurk from Neo, he just catches existence completely off guard.
Wow, and that seemed like that shouldn't be possible. I think it was only possible because Scream was sort of trying to reposition himself up on that bomb train, so a little bit unfortunate, but Smith's and RPK coming into it strong with a couple of kills there. It's going to bring it back in favor of G2.
Wow, RPK has no idea that Bialy, a second man, was lurking behind that smoke and Alley. Easy kill there for Bialy to bring it back to a 3-on-3. Molotov goes down to create some space. Scream getting caught out. He gets the headshot on Neo, but Neo wins with the AK, and Taz from the side is going to take out Shoxy. It's down to Smith, who just hasn't had an impact at all with this AWP. And now he's kind of stuck in a 1v3. There isn't a whole lot of hope for him. Trying to take advantage of this smoke. See if he can't catch somebody out, but this is definitely going to be another round here on the board for Virtus.Pro. Just can't really see Smith being able to pull off a 1v3 retake on the A site with so many angles for him to worry about. So an incredible start for Virtus.Pro, man. So far, I mean, winning the pistol, G2 trying to go for the curveball with the force, double SMG force in the second round. They weren't really able to get much off of that. MVP so far, I mean, they're just looking like that. Well, what's really refreshing is that we're just seeing them decide, and you know, instead of going for the slow play, which is what they actually started to go to when they started doubting themselves, really. Now we're seeing them just come running out the gates right off the bat. Just taking the fight straight to G2, very aggressive play from VP, not letting G2 get comfortable, taking control of the pace of the match. That's the important thing, and that's what we say about teams once they get on that T side, is that they get to control the pace. They get to say, this is going to be a fast game or a slow game, bit of a mix, we're going to keep you guessing. But right now, VP, they're just showing no fear and going straight at G2 looking for the fight.
If we compare the current scoreline to some of the earlier games, I mean, just the previous one on this very map, you see how even if you have a bad start on the terrorist side, you're able to sort of grind it back if you know what you're doing. Well, VP have a fantastic start right now, and it looks to be getting even better with just a very minimal buy-up here for G2, as you said. So, I don't know, things are quickly getting out of control for the French team. They'll have an opening. They almost line up for him. There could have been at least one kill. Existence going to come charging through, but they're ready for it. Smiths and Shocks left, and doesn't look like they're going to be able to get much out of this round.
No, they're just getting smashed this round. Looked a little close there on Pasha. He was a little slow to react on RPK's position. There's Shoxy. He catches out Neo. Gets that headshot with the Deagle, but Bialy will face him in the end, win that duel. And it's a 5-0 lead now for Virtus.Pro. Going into the big buy round coming up now for G2, and we have to see what they're going to try and change up going into it. But so far, things have been just going Virtus.Pro's way. They've got two guys who have more than 10,000 after rebuying, after re-kitting for this round.
Yeah,
so the money, they have huge money right now on VP's side.
Yeah, Bialy being one of them with a really, really big bank there. The fact that he's had a good start to this game, I think is important. I think even though, obviously, he's sort of actually becoming a very experienced player, without a doubt, but I still feel like he's the more emotional player on this team still. The sort of the player that has a worse reaction to having a bad start individually. I don't think he's the sort of guy who will blame his team for a bad start. He'll blame himself, which could also be very bad. So, and the counter here for G2, look at this. Auto sniper on Smiths.
Yeah, this is a shift up. This is a change. And Smith decides to take it. Well, I mean, that was like get right spot way back in the day over on the B site, like the hold up close to lower ramp. Just, you know, gun people down, shoot their ankles out from under them. Smith decides to play a bit farther back on the site, but it is going to be that Shoxy-Smith combo here on the B site. And G2, they aren't really cutting corners. Virtus.Pro seems like they had the idea to train G2 to worry about that A site. They went to A site 3 rounds in a row, but this time around, they take the bomb to B site very early and put quite a presence over in the brown halls very early on. So it seems like they're trying to catch G2 out. Maybe G2, you know, trying to sneak an advantage, keep an extra man on that A site, and VP could look to capitalize on that, but it's not going to happen. Although that was a sick shot from Snacks.
Well, and then we see a perfect sort of example of what the difference is, right? Because he did get tagged, but the AWP's a one shot for the body, whereas the other sniper you need two, and he just couldn't even get the second one in. Shox is going to have to work some magic here, but actually they're going to be falling back with a bomb here. They're faking out. They're putting in the smoke, and they're putting Neo in here as well to try and see if he could make some noise and draw some people over, which he has. Still 2 people in that bomb side, in spite of the fact that the push is happening over at A right now. So rotation coming back in. RPK might be in a prime position to stop this round. And look at the time as well. 17 seconds left. They need this one. G2, they can't let it go. Stream going to go down. That bomb is going to be planted as well. Pasha getting the kill. 10 seconds left, and Shox is in a 1-on-3, and he has to do this. He gets the 1 kill in, and now a 1-on-2 still left, and he's one of the best players in the world. Can he actually do this? He will be denied. It's going to be by Ali instead, who's still playing very well. Tied for the top frags with Pasha. 7 kills each.
Yeah, and that's commendable by Pasha, commendable play basically, because what he did is they hadn't killed RPK yet, and RPK is also one of those very static players, doesn't do a lot of movement, kind of sits around on his part of the map and just waits for you to come his way, right? So the fact that they hadn't killed off RPK yet, Pasha was very careful about not turning away from Ivy, not giving RPK the chance to get the backstab in, and that kind of thorough play pays off in the end. G2 lose that element of surprise, and then VP get control of that A site. So it just kind of falls apart from there, but we're seeing some very nice play coming out from VP at this point. They aren't really making many mistakes for G2 to take advantage of.
Yeah, you got to wonder, could they even have had the bomb down if RPK hadn't been killed? You know, probably would have been really hard to put that bomb down, but they succeed, and that's going to make it 6-0. And Moses was saying, and I think correctly was saying, with that Virtus, the Virtus Plow, we haven't seen it in such a long time. Now would be one hell of a time to bring it out, and it looks like we are beginning to get into sort of the Plow territory here. 6-0 right now, favoring the Polish team.
This is where they're starting to get a little tricky as well. This time, however, there is more of a focus on Ali. Smith is actually back here to set up that crossfire with RPK, but Pasha's there to take out RPK initially. Smith misses the first shot, and Pasha with the double entry frag onto the A side. Now it's just going to come down to the last man alive. That's Existence, but not for long. Taz finds a headshot on him, and it's VP just completely taking control of this A site. All 5 players alive. Taz the only one having taken any damage at all, and it comes down to Shoxy and Scream, who are sitting on CZs, but not a lot of hope. They kill Pasha. They could actually get something out of this. So they can run away and save that AK. That would be huge. Or Shoxy's just going to use it to, you know, beat Bialy upside the head with it.
It's always good to get some kills like that, but you really wish they would happen right at the beginning of the round, you know.
Yeah.
Shox starts that round with 2 kills, then everything is looking a little bit different, but you know, a bit of a cleanup at the end, getting a couple of kills in there. Scream is looking around trying to see if he can steal that AK once the bomb has gone up. We are going to be heading into 7-0 here in favor of Virtus.Pro, and I'm a bit shocked right now. I definitely think that G2 have been playing better and better. They did, I think, do something really, really careless and sort of almost reckless here.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Because there was an interview, I think, up on HLTV where they said, well, the Titan curse has been lifted, and if you can't do that, Semler. I mean, I'm not a superstitious person, but
we both facepalmed when we saw that.
Yeah, it's like, why would you invite that kind of thing into your life again? Just don't even say that.
Can't say that you're superstitious or anything, but you know, Existence hasn't made it out of the groups at the majors since DreamHack Winter 2013.
Yeah.
So to say, yeah, we don't have that curse anymore, it's like, no, you just have to shut up about it and get it done. Then you can talk about it. Then you can say, yeah, guys, we don't have the curse anymore. But to tempt fate, to tempt fate against VP, who are perfectly capable of beating you.
I cringed a little bit then. I thought that's not wise, is it? Just don't, you know, be safe. Don't even mention it. Forget that it ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are heading into the 8th round, and we're going to have to see some kind of turnaround. They're still playing very safe, and with the 3-2 split, sort of 2 at the B bomb site, 3 at A. I'd like to see some aggression, you know, coming out, but maybe that is. I mean, we always say that with the fact is, if you keep playing passively and it doesn't work, there's really only one other option, isn't there?
They put the fear into him. I mean, this is sick play from VP. They go super aggressive at the start, get control of it, take away all of G2's confidence, just make them start doubting themselves, put the fear into him, right? And then they start falling back into a more default kind of play, waiting to see what G2 want to do. If they're going to go aggressive, fine. If they go passive, that's fine too, because we have the edge right now. We're the ones hitting our shots. You guys are not. And so right now, I mean, G2 are playing into VP's hands. We have to start wondering when G2 are going to decide to go for the pause. Existence, he's no stranger to him. I mean, hell, he used to use eco rounds on pistols, just run around and spawn and use that as an improv timeout before we actually had, you know, like real timeouts that could be called, you know, before that was added to the rules.
Well, look at the time here. Virtus.Pro cutting it extremely close. This is almost, I think, suicidal. 20 seconds and you're only now walking in, but Neo opens it up. This should be almost impossible. If anything goes wrong in a push with 20 seconds left, you're going to run out of time here. Scream, got to pick up the one, already putting the bomb down, and I don't think they can stop it. They can't. RPK again being zoned out, and he can't stop the bomb plant. And Shocks, well, he's going to have to do a 1-on-4. He's got the first kill in, spots out Taz, who actually goes for the fight, which is really not necessary. Taz should just play it safe, and as soon as he does, Shocks realize, yeah, that's not going to happen. So 8-0 is going to be the scoreline here for Virtus.Pro with a push at and maybe even less than 20 seconds.
Cutting it way too close, but then they're also, I mean, that's that gamble when it comes down to those kinds of pushes, right, where you're just going to force your opponent, G2 in this case, they decide to take the risk. They push through smokes, they try and challenge and try and get on that bomb on that bomb planter as quickly as possible, and VP, they're just waiting for it. All the angles were covered, so G2 just ran right into the blender.
Just to point out for anyone wondering, so how it works when it comes to the time and why we're worried about the sort of the 20 seconds, you need, as the clock ticks from 5 to 4, you have like a split second in that sort of 4 bracket where you need to put the bomb down. You need to click the button and sort of start the actual plant sequence. If it goes past that, you know, once you go from 4 to 3, that's it. You're done. So you got to do it in the interval. So really, you only have 15 seconds to. Once you're in 20 seconds, you only got like 15 seconds to get into the planting zone. And even worse than that, and here's the problem. Here's why it's dangerous. Obviously, is if you try and go for that kind of execute, you walk in and the guy carrying the bomb dies. Suddenly, you have to spend an extra couple of seconds picking up the bomb and everything. And if you try, even if you do it, if you try and plant with 10 seconds, and this is the sort of the secondary issue, if you're putting down the bomb with 10 seconds left, the CTs can essentially sacrifice themselves and just run in and shoot you, and they don't have to worry about dying afterwards, because if they kill you with 10 seconds left, then, you know, there's no time to plant almost. The round is done. So it's very, very scary. Not many teams prefer to do that way. Luminosity and Navi are like the big two big teams that do it, right? Not so much Virtus.Pro.
Navi's like the big one, basically, where it's just like they'd run it down to 15 seconds and then commit to a site, and it's just like, okay, you guys are actually insane, and yet you keep making it happen, you keep making it work. Not a lot of teams are capable of, you know, keeping their poise, basically, keeping their cool in those kinds of tense situations where any mistake is going to cost you the round. And I mean, that's also a testament to just how far VP have come. I mean, the level that we're seeing out of them right now, they've shown that they can play aggressive. They've shown that they can run the clock down to 20 seconds and still be able to execute onto a site. Passive play. I mean, this is crazy. We're seeing a whole breadth of different styles coming out of VP right now. And this from a team that has been struggling. I mean, have been in a massive slump for the past several months. So coming into this major, there was a lot of speculation as to what level they were going to be able to hit going into this. But right now, we're just seeing, you know, we aren't even seeing G2 in the server. Like Virtus.Pro, this is just the Virtus.Pro show. They've taken 8 rounds in a row on the T side of Train.
Yeah, some absolute madness. Shocks is up at 8 kills. We've got Existence and Smith at 2 each. Scream at 3 and RPK at 4. So, I mean,
where are they? And Shocks, you know, he's got 8 kills, but a lot of those have been just low impact, you know, after the round is lost, basically frags, you know, so he's not getting big kills, you know, that are turning things their way. He's getting kills of like, oh, okay, I'm going to fall back and okay, I'll take one with me, right? That's not cutting it right now. We really need to see a huge step up in performance from G2, but this is my main concern about this team is just when it comes down to high pressure situations, such as the majors, we've seen Existence, we've seen his teams struggle in the past where they just aren't able to keep it together when everything is on the line, when it's a high pressure situation. And so right now, yeah, we're seeing more of the same from G2. Like it's the pattern that they've fallen into, and they haven't succeeded in breaking it yet.
Well, here's some actual initiative being taken by G2, which is pushing up that Ivy, flashing their way. Great double kill for RBK. Does go down Smiths. Doesn't actually need to commit to getting the refract here. There's still a man up, and that's absolutely fine. So I'm glad that he sort of chooses to just fall back. That's a very, very good play coming out, and also a sign that actually the sort of the tactical pause, you know, maybe working out. Like, Existence goes down, and that means we're back in a 3-on-3. G2 everything right now right on this round. They need to make this half 7-8 at all costs.
This will break them if they lose this round after getting an opening like that, getting the 2 kills. If they lose this round after that kind of advantage, it's going to be so hard to see G2 actually get back into this game or get into it at all. So, I mean, the fact that Neo is able to find something like this, Snax is going to be able to react in time. He goes for the flick, but he's not fast enough. Scream will find the headshot eventually. Taz spots him, though, and sees that he goes down for Sniper, so there's some important information for him. 40 seconds left on this clock, and now he's just hoping to catch Scream out. And Scream, he's not looking the right way. He turns, but it's not fast enough. Taz will find a kill. Both of these players on VP are low, but there's the lurking by Neo, and Taz finds a kill on Smiths.
Come on.
Come on, right? That's exactly right. Come on.
Everyone would say VP. Everyone said because they're so unpredictable, because all their timings are different from if they're going to be, you know, not much of an opponent, or if they're going to absolutely truck us. And I think you two are sort of experiencing, maybe not for the first time, what that's like when VP really starts showing up. And it doesn't help either that they seem to be mentally a bit out of it. But this round has a really fantastic start. They get 2 kills. It gets traded a bit, and Existence also low, so it's not done yet. But Shock's finding that kill with the bomb as well. It should cement this round. They should have it.
Yeah, they're finally turning it around here, G2. They went aggressive last round. It didn't pan out for them in the end, obviously, as you guys saw, along with us. But this round, they choose to go aggressive on B site. They're perhaps hoping that Virtus.Pro were trying to change things up, trying to stop hitting that A site that they've been going to basically for the last 6 rounds in a row. So G2 are like, okay, this is the time that they're going to try and change it. We're going to go ahead and prepare for that, try and go aggressive B and see if we can't catch them there. Still works out if they push and get the backstab on A site, basically. RPK and Existence holding the line on A site as well. That was key to this, all of this working out. Because that forced VP to fall back from A to start looking to B, and guess what? Shoxy was already waiting up for you in White Halls, and it all works out for G2. They finally break the streak.
This is where you need some of that energy, right? And we've seen today the North American teams have been good at, you know, some of that woo action. You know, get in there, get fired up, because a hell of a lot rides on this right now. This is a mad group. If you lose this game to Virtus.Pro, how are you gonna try and make it back? You know, you're gonna be playing either Cloud9 or Navi, depending on how things work out. It's gonna be terrifying either way.
Oh no, well, it's going to be again rinse and repeat here for G2, but the Scream, the flash is there to slow him down. Neo's going to find Smith. That was on upper, and Scream, he trades 1 for 1. That's not good enough. Shoxy, you need to make the difference, but he runs out of bullets. And now Snax is going to be able to rotate in here to support Neo.
I couldn't even tell you how Neo is still alive after taking that really, really awkward fight. Well, it seemed like 2 people were shooting at him. That took such a long time, but somehow it works out anyway. And now you need to see a reaction from G2. They are man down. They know this default play is not working out. Virtus.Pro have been very, very consistent in winning, even when they've been a man down. So someone has to sort of go and do something aggressive here. Win a fight at Ivy if you're RPK. Maybe if you're Existence, sneak into main and try and see if you can get some information. I think just waiting around right now is asking for VP to set up the right kind of execute. Existence a little bit aggressively, a little bit proactive. Going to be taking the kill. Snax with the instant reply, and now RPK calling for backup in the A-bomb side, but that's a mistake. They're going to be going to B instead. It's a great headshot though, and it gives them a chance.
Yeah, Pasha, with that lurk, he just gets a little bit too excited, decides to push through that smoke and really try to catch somebody out. Luckily for him, Snax is just so consistent with this AWP right now. He's not missing many shots. So he catches the man out in Link, and now it's all on RPK to clutch this. He gets spotted out, so now VP actually have the information. They know where he's playing from, and so they can really set up the afterplant situation. Great shot from RPK to take out Neo, but Snax has got the positional advantage now. Bomb is planted for him, and RPK has to worry about him peeking from upper, but Snax, of course, is already 1 step ahead. He's going to be coming in from lower, and RPK is not going to see what hit him once he goes for the tap on the bomb again.
And there's no kit either, so he's basically run out of time as well. Snax playing this one really well, and not relying on the AWP. If he misses a shot close range with the AWP, he could be going down immediately. So playing it safe with the pistol out, and even better, just staying alive for the duration. So 10-1. And that economically, it resets G2. This is the worst possible day. They lose 9 rounds in a row, win a single one, and then they're back to losing.
And they're back to $2,000 basically across the board for everybody. It's a catastrophe, Anders. Like, what do you do now if you're G2? You're just so far behind. Massively far behind here at this point. VP, they've reestablished their money. They don't have anything to worry about going forward as far as the economy is concerned. This is really brutal here for G2, and now, well, what can they do? They've got the Deagle, they've managed to actually, well, they just put a little bit of money into the round, and they're stacking A, just crossing their fingers, hoping. I mean, VP have hit A site the majority of the rounds in this first half, so they're just hoping that VP are going to, you know, keep going into that pattern, keep trying to push onto the A site and find something here.
Yeah, why not? Good pop flash in for RPK there to take out Pasha, but it only gives them a little bit. It's probably not enough to build around behind. Right now, they will have heard them running up in White Halls there. Shocks, great headshot on Taz. That is a way to get back into it. That Deagle, very powerful. We haven't seen too much in the tournament so far. Scream going to pick up a kill there. Shocks close range, but he can't take out Neo. Gets a double kill instead. And it's now RPK trying to see if he can make it back in the round, but it won't be possible. It's going to be 11-1 instead here, and Virtus.Pro absolutely and utterly wrecking G2 in this first half.
Yeah, this is pretty brutal, man. Not really kind of, I mean, if you're losing the duel straight up as well, like that's the kind of moment where Shoxy really needs to, like, you know, ignite that star power of his and win out. Just get that Deagle spray to connect and actually turn it around for your team so that RPK can then rotate in and you can win the round. And had he actually won that, that could have been something that actually did something for G2. I mean, that could have changed things up for G2. But now, I mean, it's a force buy for them. Very little utility. Straight rifles, Kevlar, no helmets, no kits. And now just down to 2 smokes. What's the call? And VP, they know this. They're going to keep applying the pressure. They're just going to show no fear. Goes charging straight out. Bialy decides to give them a helping hand. He takes out Neo, but Snacks is there to find the long-range kill on Smiths. And this is it. They're going to get the ball plant with the man advantage on the B site. And G2 have no utility to make this retake any easier for themselves.
No, Virtus.Pro in a great position right now. 4 versus 2. I mean, G2 kind of have to fight at some point. They can't also just keep getting into a disadvantage and then saving and maybe not even that. Existence trying to fall back out here. He's going to run into Pasha and take him out. But obviously the call has already been made to try and abandon the bomb site here. Snacks, look at this. Actually checking the ramp there. That's some pretty heads-up play. But he does get taken out by RPK, so...
Oh, Bialy has the info?
Oh, whoa, wow. What a grenade. Existence is going to be scratching his head there.
That's the dunk right there.
That's the dunk.
I mean, if
we're not talking about
Bialy
dunking either.
Was just like, you know, if he, because they can, I mean, they're close enough where if you shout, right, if you shout, you hear each other, right? If he was just like, dunk! As Existence gets, yeah, that would have been pretty sick. But Bialy,
incoming.
Not going to get that down. Missed opportunity there for some BM.
It's the thing is when everything works out for VP, which obviously is right now, when you're on GG, you're just shaking your head at this point, thinking, I don't know what's even happening. You know, with everything that they do works.
They're not making a peep. I mean, looking at them, I mean, they just look, they already look defeated.
Yeah.
It's just the struggle is incredibly real right now. Bialy with the double spray down. Again, they try and go aggressive to now. G2, not going to work. Existence, however, holding up close, and he loses the duel. He had the drop on Neo, and it just doesn't work. And this force buy in the 14th round is not going to pan out for G2. Of course, they have to go for the force. I mean, they need every round they can possibly get at this point, but they are so close to just getting completely and utterly bodied out of this server right now, G2. VP, what are they going to do? It's Shoxy, instant headshot on a Neo, but Neo was already low after that fight with Existence, so good on him there. But now he's in a 1v3 with an AK, no kit, and that bomb is planted on A, and VP, they've got plenty of time to set up for him.
Yeah, this is even for Virtus.Pro when they're in plow mode, this is something else, isn't it?
This is a devastating loss.
The nuclear power plow here, just absolutely wrecking everything in its path.
I mean, this is the last thing that any of us expected, I think. I mean, it could have gone either way. But to just get completely devastated like this, no, I was not expecting this.
It could have gone either way, but I still would have said it, and I think I said at the beginning, I thought G2 had a bit of an edge over in this matchup, but obviously that's turned out not to be the case. We'll see. It's the 15th round coming up here in G2. They if nothing else, just for the feeling of it, they need the last round, maybe try and get the pistol in the next half, see if they can't, you know, get themselves a little dignity here. Shots going to be going down. Taz and Neo don't care about G2's dignity. It's going to be RP here to take a kill finally, but with a mismatched 7 shot from Scream, that has also been revealed, the potential flank there, and 4 versus 3 in the retake here. I don't think it's going to happen, Semler.
Yeah, and, oh man, perfect timing for Pasha. This time, the lurk actually works for him. He will find the last kill of this first half. Snacks with the long-range shot as well, managing to chime in there. But, I mean, really, this just, it's kind of tough to say. G2 never got their heart going, never got their heart, like they just got completely crushed. Or like the heart, basically, VP, they're a bear. They just ripped it out of their chests and ate it in front of them. While G2, you know, they're still like feebly trying to reach up their hand, you know, please, stop, have mercy, VP, please.
Just make it end.
Please, and Pasha, he just flexed his bicep.
I think they really would have preferred a quick death like that. But I honestly, you know, Pasha said in that segment that we ended up, not that it's, you know, the whole team is just Pasha, but he did say, you know, I won't let anything stand in the way of me becoming one of the best players in the world. And, you know, this is a pretty good performance. 15 kills on him, 15 on Neo as well, who actually was struggling a bit behind in the beginning. I mean, so it's one performance. It's the best of one game, so we can't, like, you know, pour sort of too much into it by way of analysis. But obviously, I think there are a bunch of other teams in this tournament of sort of a tier 1 caliber who must be looking at this game and thinking, oh god, we hope it's not going to be one of these tournaments where VP are going to be turning up like this, because I think there's almost not been a team, I think, that's exists right now that hasn't run into this kind of VP at some point.
Especially after Katowice.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing, you know, that devastating loss that VP suffered in front of their home crowd versus Fnatic.
Yeah, but what's interesting about that game was because they got wrecked so hard against Fnatic early on, but they actually made it back. Like suddenly they came alive and they started sort of fighting back in that game.
Well, Fnatic just had mercy on Inferno.
Well, there's
no arguing.
It could have been.
No, I'm sorry, bro. You're trying to, like, Fnatic. Well, actually, were not the, you know, they weren't the ruthless Vikings.
They weren't ready to execute them.
Yeah, they allowed them.
I still think you saw that VP were not just coming to that tournament sleeping either. So like there was, I think, because if you think about the path they've been on VP, because you mentioned Leipzig and how badly they got wrecked there. I think going into Katowice, you can't even imagine a VP that says we're not going to worry about Katowice as a tournament, right? So they must have had some sort of upswing going in, and I mean, if that's continued on to the major here in Columbus, you've got to imagine that that's a bit scary for anyone who might be facing them. They're just a very hard team to predict, aren't they?
Well, for the 12% of the hopefuls out there, they're still rooting for G2. Again, anything is possible in a game of CS. G2 are not out of it until VP have 16 rounds on the board, so we have to see.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible,
NA teams have won maps today, so I think you might be right at this point. We are going to be heading into the 16th round. Pasha seeing if he can get an opening frag, but he's going to get overrun. And then Bialy trying to hold the line here. Some backup is here. He actually hit back shot. Snack's helping out. Oh no, Virtus.Pro. They've got no mercy at all. It is a 2-1-3. Snack's going to be helping out. He's a terrific pistol player. Existence going to be shutting down Neo, and now it's all on Existence. He actually picks up one more kill, and he's got plenty of time to find Snacks here. So the thing is, the health, it doesn't make that much difference because we're looking at headshots here for Snacks anyway at this range.
Yeah, in Existence, I mean, he realized that Snacks was over on the far side. But where is he now? That's the question. Snacks is working his way closer. Existence, it's all about timing now. Who's going to turn? Who's going to face at the wrong time? Existence is actually setting a trap for Snacks, getting up into Pop Dog. Snacks, he's expecting Existence to be working his way closer to that bomb. He just checks it just to make sure. You know, is the bomb still here? Did he manage to sneak his way past me? The answer is no, but now it all comes down to it. This is going to be time
behind that electric box. What the hell did we just watch?
Existence, where's your killer instinct? You hear that reload and you don't rush him? Was he afraid of the knife?
Yeah, I think he probably was afraid of the knife. Either way, this is heartbreaking.
No, this is soul crushing.
Not like this. Definitely comes to mind. Look at the response on G2 as well. One tech and an RPK, but 4 Deagles on the French side here. Virtus.Pro. Just an absolutely chaotic team.
And for it to go that way as well. As Bialy, he's going to find the first kill on Smith. That was an A main. So initial start there. Existence. Some of that, that DM with the Deeg headshot servers is paying off a little bit. He manages to completely annihilate Taz. So a nice start there. Shoxy looking for a bit of the shoulder peek play.
They're actually going, well, Bialy wins the fight, but it's kind of smart that they go aggressive behind it, that they push Pasha up, because if Shox gets the headshot, he's probably not going to expect that there's someone behind that box, so that could have been an interesting mind game. Right now, it's a 2-on-4 with RPK and Existence left here, and you don't have much hope for them at this point. RPK trying to equalize a little bit, and getting that kill on Neo is certainly going to help out. Where's that bomb planted? Looks like it's not going to be able. The bomb is miles away. RPK, last man left here. 16-1 as Virtus.Pro take the map away from G2 and win their first of the tournament. What a crazy game.
What an amazing win for Virtus.Pro and a devastating loss for G2. And what a day for French CS. Both of the French teams just not able to come through whatsoever in the first match of their group stage.
You know, when things go bad in France, you know, after a while, you know, a revolution is not going to be far away.
Okay, you're going for. I was about to say. If you make a white flag joke here, Anders, you know, we're on a platform. I might give you a little nudge.
I could be pushed off. And it's not like my knee can handle a fall either. That'd be an awful start, wouldn't it? No, but I honestly, no, but I think. There are so many things here that could be talked about the French scene right now. I kind of don't want to judge Envy too harshly because I actually do think that the Devil pickup, it's unlike the previous changes that Envy have made that have sort of instantly just think, well, all right, this is like a superstar player. Put him in the team, he's really going to be good. I think Devil is one of those players.
To destroy our opponents on the road to winning this event.
Before I let you go, anything to say to your fans that have stayed up all night to watch you play tonight?
I hope that we didn't disappoint. I'm happy that they stuck with us. I'm happy that they enjoyed the game. And hopefully they will come back tomorrow and they will cheer for us. So we feel their support.
Well, it was a bit one-sided, but it was definitely entertaining. Taz, I'll let you go join the team. That's going to do it for me tonight, guys, but we have our analyst desk to break down everything went on today, and especially in this matchup.
Thank you very much, Chris. Scott Taz always gives a funny and good interview. And again, we talked about it, gentlemen, like where has been the Virtus.Pro? A 16-1 over a team like G2. You know, we definitely mocked and teased Splice a little bit about how they did against Fnatic. That was supposed to go that way. This was not supposed to be this one-sided. 16-1, even though Train's a good map for Virtus.Pro, but
definitely, and it is 14 rounds on the T side, which is something that's, you know, uncharacteristic for the map itself. But I felt it was a combination of Virtus.Pro playing really well. Be in alley existence at times, holding an off angle outside as well. To be so, I think with the combination of these two things, we got the result we did.
I mean, to reference some classic banter from the last major, Scott, is actually in the winners match at the last major, VP played this team when they were called G2. When they were actually, they were called Titan. Yeah, they were called Titan at the time because they played a match there and it was actually on Train. And in that match, I had a classic piece of banter that we all remember. So all I'm going to say to reference that is, I guess Smith went for his biannual proctologist appointment. And then also, like, as if to highlight the poor individual plays, there was obviously the one round that we all saw around the electric box, where I'm pretty sure that if Bane had been watching, he'd be like, Perhaps he's wondering why you wouldn't rush a man when you hear him